Guys, how's it going? I'm gonna turn my music down a tiny bit. Hello everyone. Hello to everybody who's already showed up. Pretzel Hands and Pinkthorn. Pinkthorn's back. Haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. And Love Baker's Cookies, screen name taken. Thank you guys for showing up. Daughter of Ungoliant as well. Awesome. Okay, so today what I'm doing is I'm continuing work on the Squid shoe, which is here and here. And so these are just some shoes that I have been preparing and altering to look more like the shoes in this image. And last stream I took some stuff off of the sides that was like unnecessary detail, and I also prepared these little toe pieces. I went ahead and attached them like in my own time when I was not streaming, just because I wanted to get that done and I had to do that outside because I use contact cement. But yeah, that's what happened. And so now my little foam pieces that I was preparing in my previous stream are now like attached, and they look like this really cool texture, and I'm really happy with that. Hello everybody! Alright, so all I'm using for this is some Angelus paint that I ordered. I talked about this a little bit last time, but basically this is like an acrylic paint that has a flex agent in it. So it's a flexible paint, and that's perfect for shoes or any kind of footwear because it needs to flex. It's also really great for painting any kind of leather or vinyl items. So it's a really great paint brand to look into if you need to paint anything made out of those materials. And all I'm going to be using is just a sponge brush to apply this. There is a different color on the tongue part than the rest of the shoe, and I mixed that up last time as well. I need to probably just shake this. Yeah, sorry about the time zones that everyone has to deal with. Sorry guys. I have to stream at times that it's, you know, convenient for me. But I always feel bad for people who are elsewhere in the world that it's a, you know, inconvenient time. So I do appreciate people who show up even when it's not easy. Shaking that bottle. Alright, the last thing I was going to do before getting started is try to remove any like tiny specks of contact cement that might be showing like around the edges. When I mounted these, I traced the position onto the shoe itself, and then I only applied the contact cement within those borders, so I didn't like cover the whole thing. Because the way that you use contact cement is that you apply it to both sides of the item, and then you let it dry, or like not actually dry, but like come less tacky to the touch, and then you put them together and they stick permanently. And so I had to do that. I had to apply it to both sides, and for that reason, that's why it's not all over the shoe, and I was careful about where I was putting it. But even so, there's like tiny little flecks that are visible on the outside of the shoe. So I'm using this like heavy-duty adhesive remover, eraser is what this is called, which is just like some textured rubber that's like really tough, and it like rolls it up and takes it off. PH Hal, thank you for following. Apricot Cobbler, it's their birthday today, so everybody say happy birthday. Everybody is saying happy birthday. You guys all beat me to it. But hope you are having a great day, Apricot Cobbler. That's a cute name. So I'm just trying to like get into the corners as much as I can. And it is working. It's just really tough because the contact cement really, I'm afraid I'm gonna tear up my foam a little bit. I might just have to live with it, but I think it's not too bad. I'm just being picky at this point. Yeah, I tried to get a lot of the stuff off already, and I got most of the like really visible stuff, so at this point I'm probably doing more risk of damage, or I'm at a greater risk of damaging these foam parts, so I guess I'm probably just not gonna struggle with that on stream. I'm also going to enjoy my coffee that I haven't opened until now. Alright, So I guess I'm ready to go ahead and start painting this. I want to double check my reference image and make sure that this entire section is all supposed to be a lighter color. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. It looks like everything that's like on the tongue of the shoe that's under the shoelace is all this lighter color. So this is just the same, this is South Beach is what it's called. This is just the South Beach mixed with some white Angelus paint. And I'm about to start painting it on. I usually have like a work apron that I wear anytime I'm doing any kind of painting, but I left it at Holly's house because we were making our mold. Oh, yeah, I have a progress report for all of you guys. I haven't shared any photos yet, but I do have photos to share. But I have been making the mold for the squid head for the last several days, for the last 2 days. And so as of last night, it is completely molded. We haven't demolded it. We're going to do that later on today. And then that will be like the moment of truth of figuring out if everything went well. But I have a really good feeling about it, and Holly has assured me that she thinks it's going to turn out great. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I will probably tonight have some kind of progress photos to show on that. But that's pretty exciting that that is all underway and that's going on. But anyway, that's why I don't have my apron, and so that's my long roundabout story about why I'm going to have to be really careful about how I apply this, but we're just going to go ahead. I'm just going to be careful around these edges. I'm not like even bothering to mask it off or anything, to be honest. Was that, oh, Gift Nova just woke up to my stream? Well, that's nice timing. I thought I saw a question that I didn't answer because I was looking at something else. If somebody asked me a question related to what's going on with this, and I missed it, just feel free to ask again. But there we go. I Speak Pew is also doing some crafting. Ooh, what are you working on? If you want to tell us, let us know what you've got going on. Just using the very corner to like get around this edge. Cool. So the inside of this shoe is like a fake suede of some kind, faux suede. But there's probably not a really great way to effectively mask that off. I think tape would probably just peel off. This is fine. Alright, cool. Now, it's a little bit like bent weirdly from just the way that it sits under the shoelaces, so I'm gonna have to be careful with that. Pastel Dragons, that's a nice name. Thanks for following me. Welcome to our stream. I guess I should have left an open spot there for the tag that I'm gonna be putting on it, but whatever. This is fine. This is okay. I can just scrape it off a little bit to adhere it. Scrape the paint off, I mean. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained today. I had a late night last night, but today's been good. I think today is going to be chill. Just paint a shoe, hang out with some friends, try to demold my squid head and hope for the best on that. I guess technically right now if I get this paint on the rest of the shoe it's not an issue because it's just going to be a slightly darker shade of the same hue. So I don't need to be too careful at this point, besides just like not making a big mess. Pinkthorn is working on a Star Guardian costume. That's cool. Which character? I do prefer sponge brushes, Whalefax, most of the time because they don't leave brush strokes. They can still leave like a texture or some like kind of like tool marks still. Like it's not entirely devoid of any kind of footprint, but it's not nearly as bad as brush strokes, especially when you're using cheap brushes and you end up shedding little hairs and things like that. Yeah, I just prefer sponge brushes for little simple jobs like this. Screeny Taken is asking, is Jared wearing the squid costume? No, this is the female squid. Not that Jared couldn't wear that, but I'm going to be wearing it as the female Inkling. Inkling Girl is technically what they call it. And this is for San Diego Comic-Con. And I'm going to be working with Nintendo at one of their like special photo ops. They have their gaming lounge, and there's actually just a blog post put up about this. So you can go to the San Diego Comic-Con blog, and they'll have some info about the gaming lounge, and basically there's like a Splatoon 2 photo setup, and you can go and get your photo taken and like check out some of the props from the game, like props of the weapons from the game you can hold for photos and stuff like that. So I will be there at certain times, along with Leo Camacho, who is there as the Inkling Boy. And we're just going to be hanging out with people and taking photos, and it's going to be really fun, and I'm really excited about that. So I'll post some of the like official times pretty soon. I need to make sure that they are already public and all of that. But I think you can look that info up if you go look for info about that Nintendo Gaming Lounge. And the blog post on the SDCC blog should have some more info about that. Apricot Cobbler says, I should be drawing, but I'm kind of lazy. You should be drawing! Look, I don't like to peer pressure people, but the one thing that I always peer pressure people into doing is making art. So if you come to my stream, you know you're signing up to hear me say, you should make something. I don't even care what you make. You can make anything in the world. You can make whatever genre type of craft thing, but I'm going to peer pressure you to be creative. Whalefax says they should be painting. Adam Baum is asking how the Celica costume is coming along. So Celica is on pause right now. The reason for that being that I have this project and several other like very quickly approaching deadlines, including potentially moving to another state. So I've got a lot on my plate right now, and I am not like setting her aside in any kind of permanent way. Like that project is very much still on my mind. I've got all the supplies sitting around here. I've invested way too much in it to stop, but for right now it's just like on hiatus. And I think that I will most likely aim to finish that costume for TwitchCon. So if anybody's going to TwitchCon, which you should, because it was really, really fun last year and it's one of my favorite cons now, yes, you could count on, well, expect to see me there as Celica, provided that I am able to continue working toward that goal once I move. So it's hard to, you know, make promises that far in advance when everything is always changing and so much of it is affected by like opportunities that have really short deadlines. Like this project wasn't on my plate until like a week or two ago, like 2 weeks ago was when I was finally like, okay, yes, I'm committed to making this costume for SDCC. It happens really quickly. And so I need to have the flexibility to be able to pick up opportunities like that. So that's why I can't be like, Celica will be finished by this day. I have to kind of, you know, treat my passion project as just something I work on when it's convenient. But I'm gonna grab a tiny paintbrush to get around in some of these little nooks and crannies that the sponge brush isn't gonna do. But I'm just gonna walk off camera right over here and I'll be back. Hey, Evil Ted! Everybody say hello to Evil Ted here in the chat. Agreeing that everybody should be making something. Okay, so Pinkthorn is working on the Star Guardian Lulu. That's pretty cool. Is that right? Did I connect the right name with the other character? Sorry, I don't know that much about the Star Guardians, but that's cool. Camellia Cosplay is doing blueprints for staff. That's nice. A little prep work in there. I'm always happy to hear that people are being creative and working kind of alongside me. Where is TwitchCon? Is Lavender Steele's asking. I'm pretty sure it's in Long Beach this year. I could be wrong, but it's somewhere down here in Southern California. Not too far away from where I am living currently. Autobot is asking if I'm going to stitch on the foxing. I'm not sure what you mean by foxing. Is that the black strip around the bottom, or are you talking about like the arrow on the side? Let me know what you mean by that, and I will answer your question. Dr. Cantro's made French dip. You know what? That's culinary arts right there. That's an artistic skill. Making food. Yeah, so luckily this is the first step in changing any of the colors on this shoe, so I don't have to be too careful because everything that is white is going to be covered. So if I go outside the lines a little bit, it's not really an issue because the rest of it will get its own coats of paint and coverings. Yeah, the bottom strip is what Autobot is asking. I think I'm going to do that at a foam. Basically, it'll have like a strip of foam that's going around the outside to make the sole a little bit wider. So that's how I'm planning on doing that. And I need to experiment with how I can like efficiently poke those holes. Because if you look at this reference image really, really closely, those are not raised white stitches. They are like white indentations. They look like they are set down within the black area. At least that's my interpretation from looking at it super, super close up. So with that in mind, I'm going to look at like whether or not I can get a tiny hole punch maybe that's like that oblong shape, and then do repeated holes in the foam that would reveal the white of the sole that's currently on the shoe. So that's the idea that I have in my mind. I need to look around maybe at a craft store and see if I can find something to easily punch the little holes, but that's what I'm considering for that right now. I think I'm just gonna spend my time doing this little... Oh, Link fan is here! Link, thank you for the donation. You're wonderful as always. I Speak P is asking what paint this is. This is Angelus paint. It is, it's made for leather or vinyl and flexible surfaces. And so it's perfect for shoes because shoes are usually leather or fake leather or something similar to that. And even when they're not, there are materials that need to flex and move. And so that's why you want to have a flexible paint. I do seal it afterward. There's a variety of like clear sealers by Angelus, the same brand, that are perfect for that. If you don't seal it, then you end up kind of like the paint stays like slightly tacky, not like where it's sticking to everything, but it like picks up dirt and the dirt sticks to it. And then like if you put them in your closet and they're touching, the paint will stick to itself. Like if you have the two shoes touching each other, the paint will kind of stick to itself and then potentially pull apart some of the paint when you separate them. So for those reasons, it is definitely necessary to seal your paint, and the Angelus brand is also just perfect for that. You could probably get away with some other kind of clear sealer, but that's what I use. Yes, the little pot is also Angelus leather paint. It's just it's just a color that I mixed myself. It's just the South Beach color with white in it. That's it. Yeah, I got really lucky finding a really nice paint color for my needs here. So it was very, very easy to mix my little derivatives. Also going to use my little brush to get down in the stitching. Crumble Bread, thanks for following. That's a cute name. I Speak Pew says that they sprayed their painted shoe, I take it, with Mod Podge sealant, so it wasn't tacky, but it did just rub off, especially on the sides of the soles. I'll have to try that paint sealer next time. For the soles themselves, the soles are usually rubber or something like that, so that is going to be really hard to get anything to stick to. You might succeed with Plasti Dip, I don't know. When I was in university theater, the costume mistress of our theater program was repairing some shoes that were going to be worn by an actor on stage. And she used Plasti Dip to kind of like reinforce the sole and just like, because they were like rubbing down and like getting really worn down on the underside of the sole. And I think it had like an air pocket or something, or it was creating noise or distraction or something like that. And so she sprayed the bottom of the shoes with Plasti Dip and gave it like several layers. And the Plasti Dip kind of became a part of the sole. So I would have to test that. I don't know what the durability of that is because Plasti Dip also can be peeled off of things. And so that would require definitely some experimentation. But if that is your need, I would at least give that a shot and see how it goes. I thought about doing that to make the soles of these shoes black if I need to. I'm going to try using that foam first because, like I said, it would be a great opportunity to do the white and the black very simplistically, and there doesn't have to be any kind of like stitching or painting or anything like that. But that would come down to the durability of that technique, which I honestly have not experimented with. Okay, now I'm just going to use this sponge brush to dab more paint in here. And this will probably get at least 2 coats. This is, because the shoes are white to begin with, like, it's taking the color beautifully. Like, it's not really going to need a lot, because the white is a nice base layer. But I will give it at least 1 more coat just to make sure there aren't any patchy areas. If you're painting a darker color and trying to cover it with something that's lighter, then you would end up needing to do more. But this will be good for my purposes. Joe Villance Studios, thank you for following. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. If I didn't, feel free to correct me. Just checking my notifications over here. I feel like there's like too much paint on this brush. I'm just trying to wipe it off somewhere. Okay. Oh, Rose Whiplash is here to say hello. Hello. Enjoy your break. Aw, thank you. Yeah, plastic dip spray peels off is what Ted says. Yeah, I wondered about that. But it apparently lasted through the production, so I mean, I don't know. Depending on how desperate you are as a cosplayer, maybe that would be a quick and dirty solution, but not something that would be a durable solution. I know that Angelus Paint has a walk-on version too, which is like it sounds like it's paint that is supposedly strong enough to endure being walked on the bottom of a shoe. but I'm pretty sure that's only available in red and black. That might not be the case anymore, but at one point when I looked it up, that's what was out there. So if you need one of those colors, you can give that a shot. But it would probably depend on what that sole is made out of, if it would take the paint or not. Saturn Galleon, thanks for following. Getting all the edges first. I like to get the edges first so that then you can kind of take care of the areas where you have to be the most careful first, and then you can ease up a little bit as you get to the middle. You don't have to worry so much about making a wrong stroke. It's like this weird crease that I'm trying to get into. Yeah, I love this song. It's a good one. This is, I believe DJ Cutman. Most of the songs on this playlist are DJ Cutman. The ones that aren't are other Game Chops musicians. Game Chops Prototype Raptor is how it is described. Where is this? Yeah, under artist. Cool. So not Cutman himself, but the label. So yes, those of you who enjoy this music and this stream, you can go look him up. He's on Spotify, he's on Twitter, he's on YouTube, I think. Doing music, doing it very well. Alright, Rose Whiplash, you have a good rest of your work day, and good luck with that. And thanks for stopping by to say hey. I have not yet attempted to dye my shoelaces, but that might happen later today. We'll see how that goes. As I was saying in my last stream, the shoelaces are going to be a bit of a gamble because I took the white shoelaces out of these shoes, and they're great, but I don't have any additional material that's the exact same fiber, and I don't know exactly what the fiber content is of those shoelaces, so I can't make a test strip because all I have is the shoelace itself. I can't cut it. I can't make like a sample piece and be guaranteed that it'll react exactly the same way to the dye that the shoelaces themselves do. So I'm just kind of gonna have to gamble with it. You know, I can try to make some test strips out of something else and use that to gauge it a little bit, although it's not a guarantee for how the shoelaces will take the dye. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to experiment with it. And if I mess it up, then I'll buy some more shoelaces. It's not a big deal. Shoelaces are cheap. And then I could get a like multi-pack that would have additional shoelaces for like testing and stuff. But I'm gonna at least try to just use the ones that are on hand and see how that goes. So I will report back on my findings. That'll probably be later tonight, or potentially tomorrow. Yes, Pinkthorn. I'm pretty sure it is just red and black for the walk-on paint, but I have not experimented with either one of those yet. I hope that they come out with more colors because that's such a great idea, and I don't know of any other brands that have that specific item. So you'd think there would be like more of a demand for it, but I don't know. Maybe that'll be something that takes off in the future. I know that sneaker culture is a big thing now. My friend was telling me about it. And I'm sure that for a lot of those people that those are like pre-made sneakers. But there's lots of people out there who like make their livings painting shoes. Or at least make good money doing it. And getting like custom designed shoes. You can get all kinds of crazy looks and styles. So hopefully our cosplay needs will be met by the custom designer shoe market. Adam Bomb says that the only thing that he's making, or they are making, is a neighborhood in Terraria. Yeah, that counts. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Everybody at home better be doing their homework and making something. No, that's not necessary. Obviously not everyone is in a position where they can be making something right now, but I always like to hear that that's what people are up to when they're watching streams. Because I just like to sit and chill and make things with you. Linkfan says that he is playing Final Fantasy XIV, which is more important than homework. Alright, I can't blame you there. Now you could do crafting within Final Fantasy XIV. Jared is a leather worker. I know this about his character, even though I don't play. He's a leather worker in Final Fantasy, but not in real life. He knows the basics. I have enlisted him enough times to be like, look, I need to finish this costume this week, and it's not happening without slave labor. Here you go. And he is a wonderful partner and allows this to happen. It's just like, alright, fine, I'm helping you. Hi, Troublesome, welcome! Apricot Cobbler attempting to draw, that definitely counts. If you're attempting to draw, you are drawing. So don't belittle your efforts. Drawing is in the effort, not the result. That's true of all the art, I think. Daughter of Ungoliant is casually day drinking and baking cakes for a friend who's having a bit of a tough time. That's very kind of you. What a nice gesture. I mean, you can't always fix somebody else's problems. The world is a terrible place and everybody has problems, but you can bake them a cake. I mean, do what you can. I'm always happy to get a cake. MMO crafting, waiting for the paint to dry, says Pinkthorn. Yeah, that counts. Yay, Alpaca Ash is here. Everybody say hi to Ash. It's been a minute since we've had her in the stream. Okay, Pink Girl is working on a Sheikah Slate case for her phone to go on the Princess Zelda cosplay. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Thank you for the compliment on the Inkling costume. Whalefax is painting a car. That's a lot of work. The only way to the Daughter of Ungoliant says the only way that I know how to solve problems is food. You know what? That actually can solve a lot of people's problems. And you know, you can't always actually literally solve a problem, but if you can cheer someone up even a little bit and take their mind off of the issue, you know, assuming it's an appropriate time for that, then that's wonderful. And sometimes that's the best thing you can do for a person, so. I commend your efforts. Oh yeah, Ashley had some back pain last weekend. I'm really sorry to hear that happen to you. Was it just like a random thing? Yeah, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but I'm very glad to hear that you are doing better. Well, hello, Hoku Props. I'm a big fan of your work. I was at the TwitchCon contest last year, filming around the backstage. And that was a lot of fun. Magical Kit Kats is working on tights/socks for Witch Mercy. That's pretty cool. Oh, thank you for following, Hoku Props. That is very kind of you. Yes, I am very excited about this Squid costume. It's all coming together. You know, assuming that we don't have any complications with the mold, we might be casting tonight. So that will not be on a stream. That'll be just something that we are working on in our own privacy, but I will have photos to share with that as soon as I have results to share. So that'll be as early as tonight or potentially tomorrow, depending on what time we finish. I might just save it. But I'm very, very excited to reveal that squid head. It's going to be nice and squiddy, and it's going to be squishy and interesting. So this is very different than a lot of the stuff that I normally do, but I'm very excited to be doing it and learning new things. I was making the mold with Holly, and she pretty much walked me through every single step. Like, Holly has been a wizard. She had all kinds of plans and things that she made for it, because it's a complicated thing. You've got to work out a lot of, like, there's a lot of spatial reasoning that goes into making a good mold. So she had all of the expertise for that, and without her, I'm sure that I would not have even attempted this method, but she's been my cheerleader all throughout it, and I'm very grateful for that, and I think it's going to come out really well. She seems very confident, and so I am just, like, basking in her confidence as well. And, yeah, we'll see soon enough. Oh, thank you, Travelsome, for adding the link over to Hoku Props channel. Go check him out. It's amazing. Work is so cool. Working on NDA stuff, yeah, that's rough where you can't share your progress, but it'll be a cool reveal, hopefully, when you're done. That's always exciting, too, when you're just like, hey, look, I made this whole thing and you guys didn't know. Here it is. Pink Girl is asking you about the type of paint. This is Angelus paint. It's designed for flexible surfaces and for leather and vinyl, which are sometimes difficult to get other paints to stick to. So this is just It's in a little pot because I mixed the color to get a slightly lighter tint of this color. But this is the South Beach color. That's what it's called. Oh, you love Lucy's here. Hello, Lucy. Welcome to our stream. Daughter of Ungoliant is asking about the weight of the squid head. I think it'll probably weigh a good amount, but it is not going to be solid silicone. It's going to have foam on the inside. I couldn't tell you exactly what the specifications are for the silicone or the foam, but I can share that information after we're done, I'm sure. But, so it'll basically be a thin shell of the silicone that has foam behind that. So that will relieve a lot of the weight comparatively to just doing the whole thing in silicone, which would apparently be miserable. Because I picked up one of Holly's full head masks that was just like straight up silicone, the goblin one. She brought it out to me, it was just like, feel this. And I took it from her and I was just like, holy crap. And she's like, yeah, we're not doing solid silicone because you would hate me. So, I will ask her for the specifications on all the materials that we're using, and I will share that information and stuff when I post the photos of what we make. Indiana Jones says, I feel like Holly has Bob Ross type confidence. She knows that mistakes are just happy accidents and can be turned into something good. I think that's a very accurate description of her work style. It is like 100% different than other people that I know that make really complicated molds that are like very precise and everything is like very mathematical and pristine in the way they approach it. And Holly is not like that. She is kind of the opposite, where she's just like, no, we're going with it. This is great. This is fine. And but she's very good, and she knows how to work on the fly. She knows how to solve problems, and she goes with the flow. And I feel like that's something that I am often missing in my approach to making costumes and my various stuff that I do. So it's kind of refreshing to be around someone who has that attitude of just like, this is gonna be fine, it's all fine, we're gonna make this happen. And she insists that silicone is very forgiving, so if there are complications with casting it, that apparently, you know, it's something that we can work around, so that's exciting. Leonovid, welcome, hello. Camellia Cosplay is asking what the mold is made out of for the squid head. The mold is made out of shell shock, which is the stuff that you brush on. It's kind of like a paste consistency. It's like, actually, well, it's more like tacky than a paste, but you just like spread it on, and it's a resin basically. So yes, the sculpt itself is soft, but it's not that soft. It's hard enough to maintain its shape during molding. It was made out of monster clay. And then the mold itself is hard. You have a hard shell out of shell shock in our case. And then the interior, what we cast inside that, will be soft as well as silicone. So, Bob-ombs away. Thank you for following. Oh, Loaderbot is here saying, sorry I can't be active in chat tonight. I'm at a friend's birthday. I just wanted to give you all courage to keep working on your projects. That's so kind of you. You got hype, and is that a hamster? That's adorable. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for being here with your encouragement. Alright, so I've got one coat on these. I'm going to investigate this first shoe that I painted and see if we're good to just keep going. Otherwise, I will switch to another task. I need to make sure this is not drying out either. I think it'll be okay. I haven't paused for too long. Yeah, that is at least dry to the touch. It dries to the touch really quickly, and then you can kind of keep working on it, although I do want to be careful with how I handle this. But I think I can go ahead and just start adding another coat. It doesn't need a lot. There's just a few light spots that aren't 100% consistent. I'm gonna stir that up just a tiny bit. Here we go. But yeah. So I'm only really going to be painting the tongues right now. The sides of the shoe are going to be an applique. So I'm going to take some probably vinyl or leather, something from my stash, because it'll be painted to match with this color. There's basically going to be a piece added here. So there'll be a piece that's added that covers this section of the shoe and is mounted on top. So that piece will need to be painted and have all of the details stitched onto it and things like that. All of that will be prepared first and then applied as one thing. So that's why I'm not going to be painting this area of the shoe, because it's going to be covered up and you don't want to apply paint anywhere that you're trying to stick something else on top of after that. So yeah, that's my plan, is to at least do these sections right now and then maybe take a look at that pattern again. Anon01 has followed, as well as Shrekold, I guess. Is that how you say your name? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to always correct me. You Love Lucy's asking, do we have a Heidi emote yet? No, my emote still has not been, it's still pending. I haven't got any notification that it's live, and then when I go to the settings page, it just says pending. So I submitted it like a week and a half ago. I don't know why it hasn't been approved yet, but you know, I know that they have a lot of volume with the influx of all of the affiliates now getting their first emotes, so we'll get it when we get it. I'm really sorry, guys. I mean, I have submitted it, so I don't know why it's not available yet, but it'll be soon, I'm sure. Oh, Bobums Away says that they've been sleeping on me. Well, thank you. Oh, that's awesome. It sounds like they just cosplayed as Squid Kids last week at Indie PopCon. It's fate. Yes, it is fate. I'm right here making this Squid Kid of fate. But no, that's really awesome that you were at Indie PopCon. My husband was there as well. Yeah, the tap tap emote is the one that is submitted. That's going to be our first emote, which is the tap tap of my hammer for leather work. Or not hammer, but mallet, technically. So, because I primarily stream leather work, the Squid Kid is not going to have a lot of leather on it. I don't know if it's, no, it will have some leather because the shoes are, the outside is going to be leather, and like the arrow detail that's stitched on will be leather. So I will have leather in this costume because I always have like at least just a hint of leather somewhere. Even Samus, my Zero suit, has leather on it. So yeah. Oh yeah, what I was saying was my emote is for when I do my leatherwork streams, you can all tap tap along with me in stream. This is a frequent occurrence. So I'm not being quite as thorough as I was on the initial coat. It really just needs to not have any like light brush stroke thin areas or anything like that. So I'm just kind of dabbing this over one of the main areas. I think all of our little crevices and nooks and crannies are going to be fine. Leoto is back. It's been a while. I haven't seen you. Thanks for showing up. Alright, Pink Thorn, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Good luck with your costumes. Lucy, it's her birthday weekend too. That's awesome. Happy birthday, Lucy. We've got several birthdays here coming up, or today. Oh, thank you for the compliment on the Zero suit. I need leather to stay on brand. Yeah. That's kind of a little bit of it. I mean, not really, but like I have fun kind of seeing where I can incorporate it. I was working on my Asami cosplay for Fanime, and I had remarked to Jared that this was my first costume in a long time that I did not have any leather anywhere on the costume. The Lemus, thanks for following. Welcome to our stream. So I had made this statement, and then the very, very last item that I made of the costume was the belt. which is also gray wool. It like matches the gray wool of the skirt, but it needed to be backed with something, so I was just like, there it is, there's the leather, and made a leather belt that's like covered in wool on the outside, so you can't actually see it, but I know it's there. Got a little bit over here that didn't quite get covered. Madeline, can't hang out, want to drop and say hey. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by to say hey. Pink Thorn wants to do every single costume that we ever talk about. No, that's good. I'm glad that you're inspired. But I do think it's cute that you're just like, I'm making that too. That's wonderful. It's good to stay productive and to stay interested in different things. Zaxery11, thanks for following. Well, I'm glad that you got over your anxieties about wearing spandex, because that is, that's something you have to come to terms with, wearing spandex and kind of seeing yourself that way for the first time. But I'm glad that worked out for you and that you're happy with the look, because that's really empowering. So congratulations. Yeah, I love this color so much. This is like the color of the walls behind me, literally. The walls in my craft room are pretty much this color, so this is pretty hashtag on brand. Please don't take me seriously. Yeah, Monster Hunter armor, says Leonovid wants to make Monster Hunter armor. I really thought about cosplaying for Monster Hunter at one point. Jared is obviously super into that game. If you follow him at all, you probably have seen some of his Monster Hunter related content. So I considered doing that kind of cosplay, but I mean, ultimately, like, I'm not that into Monster Hunter. I would research it more to do the costume, but I just kind of felt like maybe my efforts were better spent elsewhere. I always get inspired by the designs, and then I have to sit myself down and be like, okay, do you really want to commit yourself to this entire project? Because sometimes you get excited about making something based on how it looks, and then you're halfway through and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Because if you're not personally invested in it, you know, you have less attachment to it. But different people have different work, you know, styles or cosplay styles. What you choose to make is entirely up to you, so I just recommend caring about it. It's good. It's better that way if you care about it. I'm the voice of experience. I've cosplayed things I care about, and I've cosplayed things I do not care about. And I just don't want to keep cosplaying things I don't care about. I don't have time for that, man. It's a short life. Link fan says, Jared likes Monster Hunter? Yeah, right. I don't believe for a second that you didn't know that. Oh, Skylar Space says that they would love to meet me. That's kind of you. You know, I go to cons on the other side of the country occasionally. Pretty much Katsucon is the one, like, East Coast con that I like to go to. So if you ever make it to Katsucon, maybe you can meet me. Or maybe I'll have an opportunity to go to another con out that way in the future. Oh, Bombs Away couldn't finish their Arania. Yeah, I've definitely had things that I started and got invested in, but then life gets in the way and you don't end up finishing it. So I'm sorry that your efforts were not productive. I guess you didn't produce it all the way to the end. You know, that sucks, but you should also forgive yourself and allow yourself to move on to things that you are legitimately interested in, because yeah, there's just not any point in, I guess, dwelling on it. Just do what you want to be doing. It's better that way to just come to terms with it. Am I able to speak in the tongue of Squid? Asks Adam Bomb. I don't know if I can make all of the Squid language noises, but I am certainly going to be saying stay fresh. I can't even say it right. Stay fresh a lot. That's for sure during San Diego Comic Con. And all of the Squid puns, the inktastic, incredible Squid puns. I'm not that good with puns. This is going to really stretch my limits of my imagination, but I will do my best. Alright, there's a little bit more detail to get over here, but we are nearing the end of this task, at the very least. I have images for the logos and the tags and the things that go on the shoe all prepared, but they haven't been cut yet. I'm going to be using my vinyl cutter to just cut them by machine, so they'll be nice and pristine and precise. So that'll be nice, but it'll be like a vinyl applique. The white, I'm looking at the top of the tongue right here. The white design will be a vinyl applique that's applied to a black piece of fabric, or maybe leather. I'll probably just use leather again, and then that will be mounted onto the shoe. Alpaca Ash says, yeah, let's talk about Sakizo designs. Yeah, Sakizo designs are so gorgeous. Sakizo is like an illustrator, a Japanese illustrator that does all kinds of like beautiful costume designs and just like really interesting outfits. And a lot of people like to cosplay them, and they're great. I like looking at them, but I don't know if I would ever really do one, because like you're really just dressing up like a piece of artwork, which for some people is, you know, more than enough motivation to just want to just be that artwork. But unless it's like a series that I'm invested in, or the character matters to me or whatever, or like I like the game, then I'm just less inclined to spend that amount of time, like hundreds of hours of commitment into making the outfit. Amazing, says Skylar Space. I'll try. Inconceivable. Oh no. Yes, Link fan, I did understand that was sarcasm, your comment about not knowing that Jared was in a Monster Hunter. Skylar Space is asking me if I'm going to be using makeup or a mask for the black around the eyes. I'm going to be using makeup for that. If you look at the Squid really closely, again, the black doesn't look like it's sitting on top of their skin. It looks almost like it's embedded underneath, like the rest of it is raised around it, and the black is like recessed. So for that reason, I'm just going to use makeup. I don't know if I'll be able to like capture that style of making it look like it's a lower level, but I am going to at least try. Or at least I'm going to be using makeup. I need to do some makeup tests. And one of the first things I ordered for this costume was contact lenses, because the Squid Girl has orange eyes, and despite having quite a bit of contact lens options already on hand, I did not have orange. So the very first thing that I ordered for this outfit was those lenses, and for whatever reason they just didn't ship from the company for like over a week. Despite the fact that the processing time should have only been like 2 or 3 days. So I like looked at that. Anyway, I contacted the company, and they were very gracious and they were very responsive, and they sent them out immediately. So hopefully those will arrive soon and not have any kind of issues. But I was a little bit nervous. Leoto is asking about the mold for the squid head. The mold is actually done. I did not do casting and molding myself. The mold was done between myself and Holly Conrad. She's the one who did all of the decision making and planning, that has all the expertise and the knowledge that she's bringing to the project. I am doing the work with her. I'm not entirely hands off or anything like that. We made the mold, the two of us together, but it was entirely her expertise that made it happen. So that's what's going on with that. The mold is done. We're going to demold later tonight and potentially do a cast right away if everything's good to go. Yeah, Skylar Space, that's the idea. I'm gonna do like a fake highlight to make it look like it's more raised around the edges. Yeah, Holly is very, very kind. She's been so supportive of this. She's the one who's like, no, you gotta do silicone. It's gonna be so good. We're gonna make it so good. So I was just like, all right, let's do it. Galax45, thank you for following. Alright, well this part is done for now. I really want to rinse out this little brush because I don't have any other spun brushes. I took them all to Holly's house to do casting and I forgot to bring them home. So this was my one sponge brush that I could scrounge up from around my room. And so I need to take a moment and go out and just like rinse this out. So I will be right back. I'm gonna throw up the BRB screen, but the stream is not ending. This is gonna be like a moment's diversion. And so go ahead and keep leaving me messages if you want to, and I'll come back and answer your questions or whatever. So I'm going to be right back. Okay, I'm back. What's up? My shoes are still looking good. Got this rinsed out. The other one's also in there. In the bathroom now, all washed out. So these, I'm just gonna let them chill for a while. I don't want to keep messing with the shoes. I do need to paint the exterior, at least along these areas. I need to do that. This is going to be in this color, which is slightly darker than what I have already applied to the toe of this shoe. I don't know if you can tell, really. But, yeah, that part will need to get painted. But for now, I need to do a little bit more pattern work for the outside area over here. Let me check in on comments and stuff. Ashley is working on her Breath of the Wild Zelda, specifically modeling a Sheikah Slate. How's that going, Ashley? Now I've been working on that for a little bit, but looked really great last time I saw it. Yes, do yourself a favor and also check out Ashley's stream. She does a lot of 3D modeling and printing and things like that. She's a very talented designer, so check her out. Alright, I think I'm going to pull my pattern out and start working on that. I know that's not super visually entertaining, but it's what needs to happen next, and I need to keep working, so at the very least you guys can entertain me, maybe. How about that? I'm going to conserve these because I'm very low on paper towels right now in my house. That's why I've got this like out. That's okay. And I'll keep my shoes over here because they look neat. And it's exciting to see them coming together. So this is where we left off with the pattern, and it's kind of just messy looking right now. But I'm going to cut this apart and start working on it a little bit. I did add a dart there. Yeah, that's fine. So the only place that it's going to need a seam allowance on these pieces, there's an exterior piece and an interior piece that I have drawn out. I know this is kind of hard to see, but I'm about to cut it apart and it'll make a little more sense. The only place I need to add any seam allowances are directly along the back seam, which I'm actually considering doing. No, I don't want to make it any harder than it already is. Alright, this is what I'm doing. Great. Cool. Let me grab my measuring gauge here. This is a little device that allows you to very quickly add seam allowances on any of these different measurements, which is everything between 1/8 of an inch to 2 inches. And it's basically just a little cheat sheet that has like quick measurements for all of the common measurements. So I am just going to line this up here, and you just move it along. And I'm adding 1/2 inch only to the center back of where those pieces need to intersect. You know what? I could do this. I could cut the pieces out and then paint them, because they need to be this nice, beautiful teal color, the darker teal color, before they get sewn together and attached. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do right now. That's a good goal for the rest of today's stream, is to get that far. So I promise this will get a little bit more interesting at the very least. This does have a dart in it. And I'm just kind of messing a little bit. Alright. This is another piece that needs to be like appliqued separately, so I'm going to set that aside for now. But right now, we'll cut these out and they'll start to look more like our pattern pieces that we need. Alright, Leoto is going to take an online quiz. Good luck with your quiz! Yes, Autobot, we are adding the arrows. So the arrows are going to be made out of black leather. So it'll be several layers, basically. There'll be the base layer of, you know, what the material is that's covering the shoe. The arrow will be placed onto that and stitched down around the edges, because that's how it looks in the reference images. That one can go aside for now. That's the little, like, octopus shape or whatever. These I'm going to cut out with my rotary cutter. AKA the pizza cutter, as you guys like to call it. It just makes precision cutting a lot faster for flat items. And that's why I have this cutting mat down that I use as a work surface. Oh, I guess this needs to actually be trimmed a little bit. The Casual Viking says that the design portions of creation to be the most... They find the design portions to be the most interesting. That's awesome. I'm glad. You know, some people are not necessarily invested in all of the technical aspects of the stream. They just want to see something cool come together. And I totally get that, and I respect that. Not everybody, you know, cares about all of the steps of all of this. But at the very least, I try to kind of show my thought process and show my work. So even if I leave some of the more like technical, boring stuff to do outside of streams, I try to at least give enough information about my process that if someone really wanted to attempt it, they could do that on their own. And like kind of follow along with what my decisions are. But that would also probably require a good amount of like research on your own time. Oh, Travelsome is heading out. Travelsome, thanks for joining us. And hopefully the email will be approved soon so we can actually use it. But I swear to you, Travelsome, I submitted it. Alright. So this has a dart, which is like a little section that is stitched together in this case, that will help to shape it around a curve. And there's one piece. I'm going to go ahead and cut the other one. Skylar Space is asking what I'm going to do about the laces. Yeah, I can't really undo the fact that this has more lacing holes than the Squid shoes. That's just a part of the base shoe that I used, and you know, Nintendo has been very understanding. Like when they initially approached me about this project and we were discussing what the specifications would be, they even mentioned like, we understand that the shoes won't be like 100% the same, but as long as you're creating the same general effect. And I was like, oh yeah, definitely. So I am going to have teal shoelaces. They will be dyed to match. As I mentioned previously, there's a little bit of trial and error involved with that, so I may need to get some more shoelaces to try that out. And that's not going to happen on stream just because I don't have a good setup for doing dyeing on a stream. But it is happening. That's what's going to be the case. So right now there's just no shoelaces in them because I was painting them. But as soon as I get those shoelaces painted, once the shoes are painted and the laces are dyed, I'll put it all back together and show it off. Lightning Fast says, Heidi, are you going to be a hardcore Squid Kid? I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, obviously I'm a hardcore Squid Kid. I don't know what that means. Alright, the other thing I'm going to do while these are flat and ready to go is I'm going to use a little bit more of this paper just to trace this in here. Skylar Space has subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much, Skylar. That's very kind of you. Oh, there it is. There's the notification. I saw it there. Okay, Frost Knight has followed too. Thank you so much, Frost Knight, both of you, for following and subscribing. That's awesome. Appreciate that. I'm gonna grab a marker and kind of make this arrow a little bit more pronounced, and then I'm going to trace it so that we have it on a separate pattern piece, and I can like not have to keep going back to this one, and we're basically just like separating the layers. So what do I need for that? What am I looking for? Oh, my ruler, of which I have several that are on the ground or whatever. Here we go. And I said I was using a marker, but I think I'm actually going to be using a pen because I don't want to put I don't want to put Sharpie on my ruler. I like this ruler too much. Yeah, the zombie is still there. I forget. I need to just like make my stream better. I apologize to you guys. I need to spend some quality time sitting down and just examining my stream setup. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. And kind of improve some stuff. But, you know, I appreciate you guys being here anyway. I am not the most professional of streamers, but I do try at least a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna, like, true this up, as they say. I'm gonna start with pencil and then I'm gonna switch to pen. So this is basically me taking a moment and making sure that my lines are straight, that the distances and sizes of things are consistent and symmetrical. And that is the gist of this step. And I'm starting with pencil here. The design was already drawn in pencil, but this is a mechanical pencil and the edge is a lot harder, so I can see the difference there. This needs to be wider. And then I will copy it again in pen just to make it a little bit more pronounced and visible to my tracing paper. Casual Viking is off to dinner. Well, thank you for joining us. Lightning Fast is also off to go take a shower. Have a nice shower, Lightning Fast. Enjoy yourself. This is like, maybe has the wrong size. Everything's going wrong today. Alright, we're using the pen, and we are going to be brave. That's about 1 inch. So I now know that the perfect center for the arrow is right about there. I'll move it up a tiny bit. There you go. This is actually where I need it. Sorry, I'm talking to myself a little bit, but I swear to you, this makes sense. Okay, so I've got a mark there of where my lines are going to connect to make a beautiful symmetrical triangle for the head of the arrow. Adam Baum's asking, what was with the zombie? The zombie is the sub, like, Twitch alert. I have a zombie, and I never intended to have a zombie. The zombie's like the default. That's why I'm like, oh, I should really change it and not have it be the zombie. Not that there's anything, like, wrong with the zombie, it's just that that's like buying a phone and then never changing your phone background. And you're just like, oh, this is my phone background forever. Which is, by the way, how Jared lives his life. Call out post. He finally made me his phone background, and I was like, thank you. Now you finally proved your love. But, yeah, sorry, that was a tangent. So that's why we were ragging on the zombie. Not that the zombie is bad, but just that it is, like, I tried to change it, and I should have changed it by now, and it's honestly just ridiculous that I have it, so I keep forgetting. Mops Entertainment says, I have come to appreciate Stubbs, the zombie. He is rushing out to get his own supplies for his own cosplays. I really like that, that interpretation. That's wonderful, actually, and I fully support Stubbs in his crafting endeavors. So now that we've decided that, I feel better about him being our notification. Alright, there we go. This is now much more visible for you guys too, and I'm going to be able to trace it onto another piece. And I'm also going to look at this. Going back to this other little one. Luis is here. Hi, Luis. Asking how my weekend has been. My weekend has been good. I stayed out too late last night and drank too many beers, but still being productive today. Still streaming. Linkfan says, love is only official when you have your significant other as your phone background. Well, on that note, I hope you all enjoy my phone background, which is Lin Beifong, and yes, I 100% agree with your assessment. Yeah, love is real when your wife is your phone background. Hey kitten, welcome. Nice to see you here. Alright. So this I'm just kind of like eyeballing. The curve at least, anyway. That's fine. I want to make sure these little edges and stuff are all as straight as I can make them. Okay, so to mirror this, I'm just going to do that and cheat a little bit, and now I have to. Or I will once I cut this out. Truly true love. I guess you guys are all referring to my screen background there. When you love someone, man, you just gotta let them know. You just gotta let them know how important and special they are to you. Alright. Once again, I am cutting this flat, and I am cutting from the direction of the fold so that my blade is moving away from the fold. If I were to try going this way, it would wrinkle and buckle, and then I wouldn't get my nice, like, perfect curve. Or perfectly symmetrical thing. Now, this might not be... That's fine, actually. I like this song a lot too. Okay, so this one, now that my shape is cut out, I am just gonna snip this with the scissors. And I will just hold this and very gently continue the shape. Alright, there we go. Make sure this is put away. Oh, and I still need to trace my little lightning, or arrow guy. Lightning arrow? That's almost what it is. It's like a lightning bolt, but it's also an arrow. You guys know. Oh, and it continues into this shape. That's what I wanted to. I am actually gonna have to mirror that curve. I made a, like, I slashed and spread this open with the patterning, which I realize now was not ideal. It does need to be a curved line, and so basically what I'm gonna do is just match the curve from the other piece, because they need to be sewn together anyway. So I'm gonna do like a quick mock-up of this before I end up putting it on the shoe to make sure that these pattern adjustments are gonna be good. That probably won't happen here on the stream, but that will happen in my time. Link Fan is asking, what's my favorite class to play in in D&D or RPGs? For D&D, my character is a ranger. She's an elven ranger, and she's a beastmaster, so she has a familiar. And Holly's the DM, and she let me be. She let my familiar be a pseudo dragon, even though you're not supposed to be able to have a pseudo dragon. But she's cool, so she's letting me have a pseudo dragon. most of the other like RPGs, like video games that I play, I don't generally play the kind of RPGs where you create your own character. Like, I play a lot of like JRPGs, but those are typically, not all of them, but a lot of them that aren't like MMOs are more like storyline based with like a character that is provided to you with their story and everything. So, yeah, I don't have any other preferred classes, like how Jared is always a rogue or a thief. I don't really have that same commitment. I know, I'm smearing my ink a little bit. It's fine. Yeah, I could have turned that into an ink pun. And I didn't. I'm bad at this, you guys. I don't have your pun expertise. I've been spending my whole life avoiding terrible puns, and now suddenly it's part of, I'm contractually obligated to make them during this event. Okay. So the way that this connects is actually like right here, I believe, and then wraps around the shoe. So I'm just going to create an indication of where I expect that to meet, and then I'm going to have to test it out and make sure that everything lays over itself properly. Magpie? Yeah. Magpie, I think. Thanks for following. Oh, it's Magpie 314, so it's like pi as in the number pi, or the, yeah, the symbol. But it's like Magpie the bird. That's cute. I like that you've got, like, you know, interconnected ideas like that. Magical Kit Kats is off for work. Have a good work day if you can. Ice cream or cake? I think we asked that last time. Which one? I think ice cream was like the standout winner, but if Kitten wants to make a poll, if you have time or if you want to, we can vote cake or ice cream right here in the chat. Oh, I'm glad that I got it too, Magpie. That's a cute name. I'm gonna grab some water. I'm going to, I'm not going to put the BRB sign, I'm just going to walk in the kitchen, grab some water, and come right back. But, see you guys in a second. You guys can all work it out in the chat whether you want cake or ice cream. I'm back, I'm hydrated. Oh, we've got a straw poll. Oh my gosh. Alright. I mean, we gotta. Ice cream or cake? Ice cream or cake? What about cake by the ocean? That's always the best kind of cake. No, I'm voting for ice cream. That's my final vote. Oh wow, it's currently at 75%. Maybe that was a spoiler. Alright, whatever. Everyone cast your votes. Cast your votes now. If you care. Alright, back to my work. What about ice cream cake? Yeah, ice cream cake is good. Alright, I have my little arrow traced, and that's fine. I'm gonna set that aside for now because I'm not ready to cut that quite yet. So that'll just go live over there with this little octopus guy. And then these are... This needs to have its little dart cut out. But these are now my patterning pieces for the sides of the shoe. This one fits right here. Like that. Oh, I can see right here how this is gonna work. Okay, I can correct my pattern right here actually. Boom. Maybe I won't do a full mock-up of this. There is a visible seam already running up the back of the shoe, so I'm now using that as a guideline. Oh, you know what? This actually, yeah, that's actually perfect. I was looking at my original line. So boom. I'm now confident that this is gonna be fine. With that in mind, I'm gonna use like probably a pigskin that's really thin and stretchy, so I'll have some ability to kind of persuade it around the edges of the shoe and make it kind of do what I want it to. That's my hope anyway. And this is the exterior piece that fits over it that way. Oh, Sapphire Grey is here. Hello, friends. Alright, so cool. Feeling good about that. With that in mind, I'm gonna look into my little leather stash over here and see what I have available in like thin pigskin probably, and just something that will allow me to get 2 copies of each one of these pieces. So I'm just gonna be right here off camera talking a little bit while I dig through my leather. Here's some black. This is a lamb skin. I think, or maybe this is the plunge, which they have a very similar look and feel. I made a costume for Jared that was like solid black leather that he wore to a con in the middle of the summer because he's a fucking trooper. And this is a leftover from that. This is from his Sydney Lostero costume where he had leather pants with dick cleavage. But he wore it because I wanted him to be in a contest with me. And we won an award too, so you know, that was great. It all worked out. I was happy. I'm probably not going to use black for the base shapes, but this is more than enough scrap for me to make all kinds of things. So these arrows will probably be cut out of this stuff. It smells delicious. And this is just like kind of a thinner leather hide. It's like going to be easy to stitch down. Now, I'm going to walk over to the other side and see if I've got pigskin still that I can also use. I'll just set that aside for now. Oh, it's my favorite song! Alright, I found the perfect thing. This is a super dark blue. It's almost black. It's gonna get painted. It's gonna match the rest of it. It's got kind of a cool, almost like pebbled surface a little bit. And it has a nice amount of like, just a little light stretchiness. So I'll be able to kind of pull it a little bit as I'm sticking it down and make sure that it is sitting the way that I want it to. Also, it's not like super high quality stuff, and it's the only hide that I have of this color. So with that in mind, I don't have any like specific other need for this. This is just scrap pretty much, but I think it's gonna look really great as a part of this shoe. It's not a perfect match for the texture of this like faux leather, but I do think it's similar enough. Oh, it's pretty similar to that actually. I think it'll look cool. I think it'll look cool, and we're gonna do it, and this is something that I don't need for anything else. So let me grab some pattern weights and I can lay this down and I'm going to cut all 4 of these pieces right away. I feel confident in my ability to fit them onto the shoe because this is so simple. I have checked it out. So we're gonna do that. We'll cut 4, and then I will paint them to match this color, and that will probably be it for my stream. Let me check back in with the chat. I know people are talking and saying things to me. That dick cleavage, though. It wasn't like literal, like you could not actually see anything indecent. It wasn't like male Power Girl fan art. If you haven't seen that, just search male Power Girl art and see what you get. But it wasn't quite like that. Unhero says, hello, my favorite atelier. Thank you and welcome. Exotic Shots, are you giving your credit card information in the chat? You should not do that. I appreciate the offer to donate, but that is not how it works. Can we delete this message? Oh, thank you very much, Kitten. I appreciate that. Exotic Shots, if that was legit, sorry for the confusion. That's not how that works. I appreciate the thought. But you should certainly be protective of your personal information like that. So let me grab my little pattern weights and then we'll keep going. Alright, Exotic Shots is asking for me to show my tits. You would never deserve to see them. And you are now banned. Goodbye. Alright. Sorry for the disruption, everyone. Alright. So now, cutting this out, we want to make sure to get 2 mirror images of, like, to do these 2 pieces, cut them, and then flip them, and then make sure that the other ones we cut are not identical, but actually, yeah, the opposite. A mirrored image. So if I start cutting without doing that, yell at me to stop, except I'll never see it in time because of the delay, so you can just see me scramble after that. I am avoiding this area over here. You might be wondering why I'm setting this stuff up over here and not using every little inch of my leather. This whole section is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's quite a bit more wrinkly and the quality isn't as nice, so I don't really want to use it for anything. You know, it's going to be scrap. I probably won't ever use that for something, so no big deal. Unhero finished their project after long planning and finally getting my things Tuesday. It's not a cosplay or anything, but I really enjoyed the outcome. Well, that's cool. If you have something to share with us, you're more than welcome to. It doesn't have to be a costume. It can be whatever thing that you worked on that's a creative project. And any one of the mods can give you permission to share a link. Sorry, I'm like talking and cutting at the same time, trying to concentrate. Oh yeah, I'm sure that person was just trolling. That wasn't legit with the credit card info, but it's interesting. It was entertaining, right? I mean, I guess. So now that I'm really looking at this, with how incredibly tiny that dart is, I'm wondering if it really needs to be there. Like, that's gonna be such a sliver. Like, if I can coax the leather to stretch around the curve, then I won't need that. At the very least, I'm not going to do anything with it right now. I'm just going to potentially trim off a little bit, because that's the only difference it would make. So I'm just going to cut the whole piece out right now and not think about the darts, and then the pattern will still be on hand, so I can reassess it and decide whether or not a dart is ready. Oh, and here I made a mechanical keyboard. That's neat. Casey Fusekos is asking, how's it going? Been watching Evo? No, I haven't. I've been too busy making this squid. But things are going really well. I have a squid on the way. Okay, Unhero has Imager links for us and streamable for a little video. Oh, neat. Is it just a single image or is there like a little gallery? Let me look at this. Oh, fuse cost. Okay, sorry. I wondered if it was Fusekos. I think I had said fuse cost in the past, and I was still self-conscious about it later because I was like, what if that's the name that's all one word? Oh, this video is sweet. Okay, now I see where it's lit up. This is really neat. Unhero. Did I say that right? Oh, no, that's fine. One image is fine. Because you've got the video that showed me what I was curious about. So fuse costs, alright. I'm sorry I'm talking to both of you at once, but you guys know what I'm up to. Oh, sorry, Unhero, your links got deleted because of Nightbot. I'm sorry. Yeah, the permission times out pretty quickly, so sorry about that. Hopefully everyone got a chance to see. Otherwise, I believe Kitten can re-permit you. There you go. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, Fuse Cost, Casey Fuse Cost says it's a name like fusion and cosplay together. Alright, that's neat. Cool. Alright, back to this. Yeah, there's one part one. There we go. Repost. Unhero has reposted those links, and it is a cool keyboard, so if you're interested to see the work, go check that out. And congratulations on finishing a really cool creative project. Yeah, that's awesome. Sapphire Gray is going to shop for makeup for the first time. Well, good luck with that. Don't forget you can sample most of the items. Well, depending on where you're going, if you're at a place like Sephora or whatever, they usually have a sample available, so you can always dab a little bit of color on your hand or your wrist area to match your skin color. You don't want to use tester makeup on your face, but you can do that. If it's your first time shopping for makeup and you're nervous, you can try that. Alright, cool. Jared is recording something upstairs. He's like doing a collab video, and I can just hear him just like yelling. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but it's just like muffled, just yells. I have no idea what's happening. Well, now he's laughing, so it can't be that bad. Make sure that my lines are exact, because I'm getting a little bit of movement here, even with the paper weights. Not paper weights, fabric weights, you know what I mean. One of the things too is that leather is not perfectly flat most of the time because it's a hide that's been stretched while it's wet and then it dries, and so the edges where the tension is at, they get a little bit distorted and weird. So when you're laying your hide down later, it's not 100% flat. It kind of stretches in different ways. So you want to be careful with it when you're laying your pattern pieces out and cutting it to make sure that you're working on like an even surface. Okay, Casey Fusca said that they saw us at AX. That's awesome. Thank you for, you know, coming and saying hey when I was Zelda and got to meet Jared in person. My friend got a picture of me chatting with Jared in the middle. Nice. Was he like secretly snapping photos of you talking to Jared? Because Jared sometimes does that for me when I'm talking to someone that I really like. He's like, sneak a photo. Atom Bomb has a poll. Alright. Who is a better cat? I think you all know how to vote. Yes, everyone, you can click on that poll and you can see the blasphemous question that Atom Bomb asked. And you all know the correct answer to this. Oh, you guys can hear Jared yelling now? Yes, you have been hearing Jared screaming. Jared is screaming upstairs in his office. Pat Zerly donated $10. Thank you so much. Saying, keep up with your awesome work. That's very kind of you. Thank you for the tip. And thanks for joining us here in the chat. Alright, I think I want to keep using the same area of the hide. I don't know why I just like picked that up and moved it all around. You know, this is kind of torn up. There's like a weird hole in it. I'm just gonna go ahead and use up the best leather, like the best areas of this, because you kind of get quality variations throughout it. Like, as you see, this won't lay flat because it's just like a wrinkled surface with various curves and stuff. I'm gonna cut that off. Unhero says this is the closest emote I could find of Aries, and it's a steaming pile of... Oh, it's cheese. It's smelly cheese. The smile. That's cute. Alright, well, thanks. I don't actually have an Aries... I don't have any emotes, because the one that I submitted hasn't been approved yet, but when I do get more emotes, you can bet your sweet ass that one of them is going to be Aries. Alright, so I did remember to turn my pattern pieces over. Because, yeah, I totally know what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna do this one. No, I'm gonna leave it how I had it. And once again, like, if I were using regular fabric where it was all consistent material, I would make sure that I was as close to all of the edges as I could reasonably get. But I'm not. And so I am deliberately avoiding areas of poor quality and just placing my pattern pieces in areas that have the nicer leather. Jared scream, you guys can hear him? It's funny. Link fan wants to do a fan art of when Heidi killed that fly when Jared couldn't. I would love to see you make a fan art of my victory in battle. I'm just gonna cut that. Just cut to the chase. I hate when I have like large extra pieces attached, and when you're only creating small scraps, it's like there's no point in not trying to just cut it apart where it's easier. Oh yeah, this happened a few streams ago for Leonova is asking. That there was a big, like a huge fly zooming around my craft room. It was really annoying. Like, this was ongoing for quite some time, and I was streaming and I was trying to just like ignore it, but it was so big and so like loud that it was really difficult to ignore. So at one point Jared came down here and I was like, will you please kill this fly? Will you use your, will you use your skills here to murder this fly for me? And he was just like, yeah, this room is really hard to do that in because there's all these obstacles and stuff and it's really big. And so he's just like, nah, I can't, bye. And I was like, okay. But then as the stream progressed, it landed right on my workspace on camera and I got it. And so I destroyed the fly that Jared he decided was beyond his ability to help me with. Leoto says I have tiny, graceful wrists. I bet all adults always said you had piano hands. Wow, that is accurate. I have gotten that comment many times in my life that I have piano hands. Part of it was because my mom was a piano teacher, and she taught all of my friends how to play the piano, but not me, because I didn't stick with it in practice. I've never been that musically inclined. I did like band and stuff in high school. But it was more because it was like more for the social aspect. I was like a band nerd. I did not continue playing any kind of music after I left. So anyway, yeah, that's I get piano hands comments. Maureen Rose has subscribed. Thank you so much. Awesome. Alright, last one. Cutting this out, and then we'll be good. And also Hibub277. I heard that wrong. Thank you for following. Leoto also has long fingers and gets told that they have piano hands. Bread Galaxy is asking what instrument I did play. I played the oboe. I was an oboist. And then because double reed instruments do not march during marching season, I also played percussion because that's just where they shoved the oboists during marching band season. And we'll fold that up and take care of that in a little bit. Stubbs needs more fabric. Going out. Going out to Joanne. Dr. Cantor, has people told you that your hands look like giant spiders? Oh, that's not kind. It's Jess, I guess. Hi. That's very kind of you to introduce your mom to my stream, my cosplay. It's always nice when people share it with other people. Well, thank you. Tell your mom that I appreciate that. And both of you for watching. Bread Galaxy says they made the oboe. We made our oboe play clarinet during marching season. Oh, that sounds terrible. At least for being an oboist, like, it was very easy for me to learn percussion because once you know, like, all of the notes or whatever, like looking at a marimba or whatever is much easier to decipher than having an additional wind instrument that has similar fingerings and embouchure as your oboe, but is just different enough that everything is changed. It's also in a different, key, is that what they call it? Where, like, an oboe is a C instrument, but, yeah. I don't know what I'm talking about. I haven't played music in a long time. Don't listen to me. Alright, I'm setting these things aside. We've got our pieces cut. I'm gonna grab my, just this. I'm just going to use this as a little surface once again, and I'm going to start painting these. I also need my sponge brush that I put away. I wonder if I can puzzle these together in a way that... I don't think I can get 4 on at once, though. That's too much. Too much. Well, I could at least do 3 and then put another one here. Alright. So this is going to be really quick and easy to paint, I hope. This is probably going to be the end of my stream. I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. I'm going to grab my sponge brush from the bathroom and then use this paint to paint these sides of my shoe. And then that'll probably be it for this portion. I don't know if I'm going to continue streaming in the next couple days. I might continue to show a little bit more of my process, but I also feel like it's going to be fastest for me to just work in my own time. So brush and then painting, and then we'll probably kind of wrap up. Just need to arrange these properly. That's probably a little bit better, where I'm somewhat farther away from the edges. Okay, be right back. Oh, my stream isn't quite over yet. I'm gonna paint all of this, but this will be like the end of my stream in terms of, this is gonna be the last thing that I do on stream. So after this painting won't take very long because everything's flat. It's all just gonna be brushing it on and making sure it looks consistent. After that was a lot of paint, probably more than I needed, but it's fine. It's not that much. After that, I'll probably switch over to just working by myself, because as much as I like talking to you guys, I am more efficient when I have my opportunity to just like concentrate what I'm doing. At least snap some pics. I will definitely snap some pics. You will get all kinds of photos of my continued progress, even if I don't continue streaming like the further details of this particular costume. I think at this point I've really kind of showed off all of the parts that are complex at all. So I try to at least give a little sampling of what different stuff all goes into a single costume. My brush still has some water in it. This is gonna definitely need more coats. It's like thinning out the paint a little bit as I use it, just because the water is on it. I'm also now painting a almost black surface rather than the white surface of the shoe that we already painted. So for that reason, these will need multiple coats. So this might take a little bit longer. Check my notifications. Alright, we're good. Oh, Kitten shared the clip of me killing that fly that she clipped from that stream, so thank you, Kitten. Yeah, just dabbing the paint on a little bit more than brushing it. I'm still using kind of a brush stroke, but not a long brush stroke. I think is giving me a better result, so. Yeah, this is just a shop towel. I mean, I had limited items at my immediate disposal. So yeah, the shop towel is just a surface so that I don't put paint straight up on my cutting mat. You can use whatever. I just grabbed something that was really close. Oh, Camellia, don't get down. I mean, a lot of the time cosplay is just very time consuming. You can spend hours doing something simple. And if that's how long it takes to get it to your liking, then that was time well spent. So be forgiving to yourself, even if you feel like you're not moving at the pace where you want to move. I am consistently discovering that it takes me longer to do everything than I think that it will. So with that in mind, like, don't be sad. I'm sure that you've been working hard, and you know, we've also been interacting here, and you've been interacting with us in the chat and stuff. So that's just how it goes. Good luck with your continued progress, though. Yeah, you can see it kind of fading a little bit as it dries, but you know, whatever. I'll just keep adding more paint. Meowser says, bye everyone, Splatfest is up. Alright, and go enjoy. Fraulein Honig is asking, hey, where do you come from? Asking me personally or people in the chat? I am American. I was raised in Texas, I was born in Washington, and I'm currently in California. So I don't have any kind of particularly interesting heritage besides being a white American that has lived in a few different parts of the country. Aleota says, odd comment, but I really like the disposable cup you have. I like how it has measurements on it. These are great little, they're called medicine cups, because it's, I guess the idea is that you use them for medicine or anything else, but, you know, medicine is how they're sold for that, I guess. I got this at Smooth On, or at Reynolds from Smooth On, that sells Smooth On products. I just think of it as Smooth On, but it's not. From Reynolds, the store that sells casting supplies, carries these. And it's just like a little wax cup. Like wax-coated paper cup. This dabbing motion is good for depositing the paint without leaving a lot of brush strokes, and then I just kind of pat it to kind of get this. It leaves like some bubbles sometimes if there's too much, if the brush is too saturated, the foam. So I'm like tapping it and patting it down in order to like create an even coating without a lot of surface impressions from the brush. Splatfest is still downloading. The special event in Splatoon 2, that's right. So it's like a preview event for the game, because the game isn't quite out yet. It's coming out very soon. And so they're doing like a hype, kind of a limited event where only during these hours you can go and participate in the Splatfest and play like a demo. So that's what's going on with that and what people are downloading. What some people are downloading and interested in. Leoto's asking, oh, attempting to get a Switch tomorrow? You don't have to play the first Splatoon to enjoy the second one. It's not as, like, it's not like a continuation of a story that you missed out on and now you won't know what's happening. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that you can immediately pick up Splatoon 2 and enjoy the characters and the world and all of that. It's not like a storyline game. Like, there's specific Squid characters, but it's not like you need to know about interactions or anything like that. Is the leather curling? Yeah, a little bit, but it's not like gonna create a problem. It'll be fine. I think that the paint is contracting on the surface as it dries, and so that is making it curl up, but I can smooth that out. That shouldn't be a problem. Like I said, the leather is very flexible. That's why it's happening, is because the leather is so thin and flexible that even paint on its surface can cause it to contract. If that makes sense, because yeah, the edges are just barely coming up. But I can just pull that down or manipulate it and it's fine. Lavender and Steel asking how often do I play video games? Not very often. I play like specific games that I'm really interested in. Like I played Breath of the Wild. I was wildly obsessed with that one. But I don't spend a lot of my time playing games. I mostly spend my time creating things from games, so. Okay, it's just like Guest says, there is a little story you might miss in the story mode, but it's not a big deal. Most people just play the online. Yeah, that's like what I've experienced is the online. Camellia Cosplay says, thanks to everyone for cheering me up. I appreciate that very much. I'm just at a frustrating point in the build where I start working on several different parts, but I can't finish anything right now. And that makes me feel way less accomplished after a long crafting day, but well, that's how it is for now. Yeah, I feel you on that. That's something that just happens as a part of the costume. I don't mean to be dismissive of it, that's not what I'm trying to say, but I guess what I am saying is just, be patient with it. You know, sometimes it takes a while to get to a point where you have results that you can share, that other people can appreciate the work, but it's honestly a good idea to have several pieces of the costume in motion at once, so you're not, like, leaving something all to the end and then you forget about it and you're not prepared to have the whole thing finished because you didn't budget your time properly. So even though you might be at a frustrating position where you don't, you know, have some really obviously finished piece to share, that's not the same as doing nothing, and all of those little unseen tasks really do add up and contribute to your progress. So I don't know exactly what you're making or exactly where you are, but I do know that that's how it goes a lot of the time. Oh, and people are leaving encouraging messages too. That's so kind. You guys are so kind to each other. I really appreciate that. Alright, there is one. And yeah, these are like dry to the touch so quickly. This does not take very much time. So I'll still like let them sit, give them some more time to like fully cure or whatever. But at the very least they can be touched and gently handled very quickly. Unhere is asking if I'm gonna add stuffing to the shoes, like real shoes. No, that's not how that wouldn't work. I would have to make this shoe from scratch to make that happen. This is the shape of the shoe that I got. I think it's pretty accurate in terms of the shape and the proportion. It does have like a hidden wedge heel in it, which is really great because it adds to the cartoony, like chunky thickness of it. So yeah, I've got like a good probably 3-inch heel over here. But no, I'm not going to be making any alterations to the structure of the shoe itself because that's very involved. Hey, Whalefax finished a charcoal sketch for the dog painting. That's nice. So you got stuff going on. Is this paint a super flexible paint for movement? Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know about like super flexible. It's not like some crazy stretchy thing, but it is flexible and it's good for flexible surfaces and for vinyl and leather and things like that. So that's what's up. I'm probably gonna have to do a third coat just because I'm coating such a dark thing. But it is starting to look pretty solid. I think I'm probably gonna finish coating the rest of these in this current coat and then I'm gonna call it a day on my stream. Because I'm getting a little tired and I need to eat a snack and I just need to take a break. But just as a warning, we're gonna be wrapping up here in the next few minutes, but I appreciate you all being here and hanging out with me and keeping me occupied and entertained throughout my workday. If anybody has any questions about the build or the squids or anything like that, now is a good time to ask them. Oh yeah, Unhero. No, I didn't make the shoe from scratch. It's just modified from an existing shoe. So that's why I'm not going to be doing like heavy duty modifications. I am just more or less decorating the outside. And I'm getting pretty involved with my technique here. Like I'm not half-assing it. I'm not skipping steps necessarily, but it is limited to basically just redecorating the outside. Oh, Magpie, thanks for coming to your first Atelier Heidi stream. It makes me happy to see someone new. Jess, I guess, is heading out. Enjoy the Splatfest. Everybody go play Splatfest if you have a Switch. If you have the opportunity, that's how you should spend your time, because it's only a limited event. Oh, and Unhero is also heading out. My cat is talking to me. She's telling me I have to sleep so she can sleep on top of me. My cat does the same thing. Have a great night, Unhero. Oh, cool. Whalefax did a 4 feet tall painting of a stag for their painting final. That's really neat. Alright, this is pretty much the end of my day. At least as far as the end of my stream. I've got a good second coat of paint on all of these. Yeah, I said that right. So I'm gonna let them chill. I'm gonna go chill. I'm gonna take a few minutes to myself before I keep working. So yeah, thank you all for joining me. I might do some streams in the next couple days, depending on how far along I get on all of this. But I'll definitely be posting lots of progress photos of the things that I make, including that squid head, today or tomorrow, probably. So I'm looking forward to that. Alright, thank you all for being chill with me and hanging out. Have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you around the interwebs. Bye!